The boys took the stage for the first time since they closed out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Would things change or would they stay the same? Find out shortly. The DMB post show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Pittsburgh, what up? Allegheny River, what up? Ohio River, what up? I ain't gonna even pronounce the third river. What up? R.I.P. Mellon Arena, aka the Igloo. R.I.P. Three Rivers Stadium. Shout out Central Catholic High School. Morgantown, West Virginia, what up? Butler, PA, what up? Youngstown, Ohio, just across the border, what up? I still call it Hinesfield. Shout out Hinesfield. PNC Park, what up? Beaver Falls, what up? What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Thank you for joining the DMB post show stream. Appreciate your patience. I was coming fresh off a UConn men's hockey takedown upset of number 2 Boston College. We was on that Boston College Eagle Pack tonight. But I wanted to get to Dave Matthews Band coverage, and let's go ahead and take a look at the set list. Now, this was not on SiriusXM radio. We'll talk about that later. But I did listen in on the couch tour. That's obviously not the best audio, but I did listen into most of this show here, and saw some different things. I'm gonna play some audio from my friend Derek. I want to start off with this because he was there, and it's hard for me without that SiriusXM radio, with me being away. I wasn't, I don't have as much to say myself. So let's go ahead. We're gonna listen to some audio from D-Rock, aka Derek. So I'm gonna play the first clip here of him. Let's go ahead and play that clip here.
Thank you for putting me on once again. Took the trip to Pittsburgh. It was definitely an interesting show. Dave went, high and then low and then high and then low. Some deep cuts sprinkled in. Heard some people that on the way out were like, oh, I wanted to hear Crash and Crush. There was a lot of that, I don't want to say casual, but there's a lot of people that wanted to hear, more of the radio hits. But I thought it was fun. Dave sounded good. Raven is one of my favorites, so always good to hear that. Warehouse is another staple, obviously, that I enjoy. Nothing too crazy. I like the Hall of Fame chant that went on, and Dave acknowledged that after with a big smirk on his face, which is pretty funny, and then thanked us for keeping up the pressure as far as voting him in. He went off stage at Virginia in the Rain, and I think he probably had to pee, but he said, I had to take a call. Well, that was very funny. I've never seen him leave the stage really for a couple minutes at a time. So all in all, another solid show. I think everyone sounded good for having a little bit of a break, a little layoff. Dave's voice sounded good. Rob was jamming back by the sound booth there in the middle of the stage, in the middle of the concourse, the floor area. So yeah, of course, that was show number 37 for me. That was no complaints as usual. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on again. Go Bills.
Go Bills. And to your point, yeah, I've never.
All right, we're going to get part 2 up here. Let me go ahead and take the audio file for part 2. We're going to play that as well.
Okay, I have one more addition for you. So obviously Madman's is much better when it fakes in the minarets, but I just love Carter when he would rap at the intro and him and Dave would be on the yeah part. So Carter probably just doesn't want to do it anymore, but minarets is awesome. 9.5 out of 10, but if it has the Carter intro, it'd be a 10 out of 10. So other than that, great.
Right. So the main story tonight, I think, that got the most kind of attention and got the most messages I got was about Dave Matthews leaving the stage during Virginia in the Rain. And Nate says in the chat, Virginia in the Rain, the band played the opening while Dave was off stage for several minutes. He later joked about having to take a phone call. So yeah, Derek said that. Nate's saying it in the chat. Other people, thank you guys for sharing this stuff with me so I can get a better grasp of what's going on at the show in person. That's why we do these things. But initially, I just got a bunch of texts. Remember, I'm at a hockey game, so there's an intermission or a TV timeout. Not intermission, TV timeout. And I get all this stuff. Oh, hey, Dave is off stage. And I'm like, oh, is everything okay? My boy John Dix, we're going to try to get him on here a little bit later. And he's like, yeah, I've never seen this happen in all my years of seeing him. And so it seems like he was okay. Was he taking a call? Was he going to the bathroom? Who knows? He's saying he was taking a call. We'll have to take his word for it there. So hope it was nothing too serious. And but I mean, obviously for him to leave the stage for a possible call or something else, he doesn't just walk off stage like that. This show, we heard Derek talk about people wanting to have some of the hits. When you don't play Pittsburgh in the fall, or any, really every show, the majority of the fans want the hits. We have these post-show streams. We have these communities where we talk online. We're really 5%, if that, of the overall fan base at a show. Maybe you could say more at some of the bigger stops, but even so, even at SPAC, people go. They want the hits. You know, the more that I didn't go to SPAC initially in my DMB journey. A lot of my stuff was in Hartford or Mohegan. And so as I've traveled the country, as I've talked to people, you guys may know this. Some of you guys may not have that understanding of this as fully, but people want the hits. They want Crash Into Me. That's just how it's going to be for a show. As much as many of us hardcores love these deep cuts, people want stuff. Nate says it was a great show, but he was surrounded by lots of casual fans who didn't know all of the songs. And that's important to understand. I know I saw different chatter online saying, hey, this was an average show, or this was this or that. But the band also has to write these sets, understanding that when you don't play Pittsburgh in this type of, I mean, they played a PNC Park, but and then they play Burgettstown in the summer. That's a suburb of Pittsburgh, but they haven't played an indoor show in Pittsburgh for a while. I think I had a stat on that. I had on X, but the last Pittsburgh show was it was way back. It was like let me see if I can find it here. But I'm going to try to find this for you. But yeah, there's just, it's, and this is the thing too. Like people want LA shows. They want more West Coast tours. The problem they ran into out West is, you had lower attendance. Now they didn't hit up LA. They didn't pull up to LA now. Let's make no mistake about it. They pulled up to smaller cities. But when you have these fall tours, or you have stops where you haven't been in a while, there's going to be a lot of casual cookie cutter songs. So if you're out West and you're like, finally, there's a show within a couple hours of me, that show could be cookie cutter. So, that's just one of those things with going to a city like this for the first time in a while. Yes, people are going to travel. A lot of Ohio folks were out there. People from Indiana and Tennessee were out here. But at the same time, you're going to get a lot of casual fans. And that's just, it is what it is. I'm trying to see if I can find that. But there was an indoor show in Pittsburgh. Let's see if we can just find it for you, just to show you how long ago it was for something like this to happen. 1995. First Pittsburgh arena or indoor show since 1995. Yeah, so that's a long time. I was in kindergarten in 1995. And now your boy Conceviz 34 is 34. But looking at this set, listening to the most of the beginning of this, I will say one thing they got right was the opener. The first two, I would say from Granny to When the World Ends, it seemed like that part of the set list was almost like a response to a lot of the different thoughts in the real world and current events here in America. It seemed like that was somewhat of a response. You believe in love, and then the squirm. We're all the same. And then Warehouse, I'm leaving. People trying to go to Canada. Don't go to Canada. It's worse there. Anyway, y'all trying to leave to go to Canada, like they don't have their own problems. Anyway, it just then Minarets, the Madman's Eyes fake in the Minarets. And then When the World Ends, perhaps that was a nod to whatever, is going on in this world. But for real, don't go to, I love my Canadian brothers and sisters. They have the housing shortages in Canada are worse. The other problems that we have in America are worse in Canada. The Canadian dollar is struggling. Don't go to Canada, guys. But that first part of it is almost like they really came out. Granny is great to start off. Sometimes, in my opinion, they'll open up with the song, and listen, this is the first show back in a while. They'll open up with a song like When the World Ends or something else, and you're like, One Sweet World without the full intro that they did back in the day. Like, I know people love that song, but it's not the same without the intro. I think Granny is a great 1 or 2 spot song, and they played it in the 1 spot. They could have played it in the 2 spot. It would have been great. you know, I would rather, and Granny's just an overall great song. I don't want to minimize it, but I just think Granny is a great choice to get as many people as possible engaged into that. I think that's what's important about openers. Some openers can be polarizing, especially for those like me who go to a lot of shows and really don't want some of these meh openers, in my opinion. So we have 3 Crash songs, 2 Under the Table, 2 Before These Crowded Streets, 2 Every Day, 2 Busted Stuff, 2 Stands Up, and then everything else is 1. I love Big Whiskey, only getting 1 song, and the only song from Big Whiskey is one that was played often back in the day, but I'd rather, I like when there's only 1 Big Whiskey song, and if it's Squirm, I'll take that. Sometimes, although I like Funny the Way It Is, and you know, Why I Am is, I don't really need to hear that. I don't need to hear You and Me. I hope they keep Big Whiskey down. The last 2 years they've really reduced it, and so you get more from other albums. I think Raven is the highlight. Nate says people were into Bayou. I'm sure they were. Again, I don't want Bayou at shows, but people get into it. That Funky Raven comes back here. First time it was played since 2023. There's been, now if we look at the Raven stats here, all time, and we go to the chart, shout out to the Almanac for this chart. The last 3 years it's been played once by Dave Matthews Band. 2024, 2023, 2022. There were 3 in 2021, and then you had 4 in 19. Now in the Buddy Strong era, there's more of a funkier intro to this song, and I love that versus a more horn and jazzier intro. It's more funk. It's doom, doo, 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 doo. And my boy John Dix was at one of those Funky Ravens. I think that was in 2018 or 19 in Pensacola. He was at that one there. Let's go to the chart here and just double check that. I believe it was for, oh no, was that 2021? That's Seattle. It was before the pandemic, and it was Buddy era. Oh, maybe it's this is it 4:30? Yeah, Pensacola, Florida. This is 2019. This is I'm so glad I don't play stand up anymore. Only played 6 times in 19, but in 18 it was played much more. Where's that Raven? The 6th spot they played that kind of funkier Raven. That was selected, I believe that's for Rhino's Choice. Oh, Warehouse 7, Volume 9. Oh, for some reason I thought that was the Rhino's Choice there. But it was not. But Raven, I think, is something special. I think someone said they were chasing it there. And to play it in a venue like this in the opening night of a tour is a great thing. Nate again said people liked Bayou. The funny thing is, I said I was at the UConn game. My team won and upset the number 2 team in the country for college hockey, Boston College, as Bayou was being playing. Shout out to Jenny. Jenny FaceTimed me, my friend from Central Florida, FaceTimed me. But I'm like, it's literally like the last minute of the game. So I like rejected the call. Because I'm like, I'm trying to watch this game. It was a nail biter. UConn won by 1 goal. And so, 2-step in that E2 spot is huge because we haven't got as much 2-step. If we go to the tape here, and again, this Almanac has some great tools here. We have gotten it more recently, but for certain tours, it does still skip some things. We got 29 in 2022. But we had 6 in 21, 2 in 2020, and there were concerns about Carter being able to play the drums in that song giving him trouble. Matt Norlander broke that news during the Railbird two-step opener. I think that was in 2021. And certain regions of the country have missed two-step, even though you may see 10 plays. Let's go to the total plays there. And a lot more than Raven, obviously. But if we go over to this, again, most of the two-steps were in Europe. And then you get to 629 at Deer Creek, and they did get a two-step. After that, you have to go to that Gorge one, which is on my channel, YouTube ConcertViz 34. You're probably, just go to it if you're watching this on YouTube, to that channel. And I had a multi-cam of that. That one was the opener. First two-step opener since 8/29/21. That should have been Railbird. Yep, in Lexington, Kentucky. So there weren't that many two steps, and then they played it in Franklin, Tennessee at the 2 spot. And that was another hey, that's great for a festival, even though it's a popular song. So the summer did not have a lot of two steps. You look, let me slide this over here so you guys can see, right? The summer did not have a lot of two steps. You had spring stuff all the way to that's Lisbon, Portugal, 5-1, and then 629 is Deer Creek, 8:30 is the Gorge, and then 9:28 is Pilgrimage in Franklin, Tennessee, and then tonight is Pittsburgh. So that's a huge thing, especially if you're a Midwest fan and maybe you did get it at Deer Creek, but maybe you couldn't make Deer Creek. Well, you got it, and you went to Pittsburgh. You got it at Pittsburgh. People who only go to Burgettstown or something in Pennsylvania, but don't get out to Deer Creek, they got this. So that's why it's a special thing to close out with two-step. And Sister, I'm not a huge, make no mistake about it, I'm not a huge fan of Sister. I love the story of Dave, his twins holding hands when they were much younger. And it was a special moment there. He's playing them a version of this song in his car, and they're holding hands. He looks back and they're holding hands, and they were very young. Can't remember how old. I think they were more like toddler, 2, 3, 4 years old. So it's just a special moment. And so he plays that there. Could have been a nod to kind of some of the things going on politically. Maybe it could not. Who knows? But Sister two-step is your encore. We only have how many covers did we have? We had Let's Dance. Yeah. So just one cover. I like that too. Now I'm going to this to the hurricane benefit, MSG Night 3, but I really don't, I don't want, I'm not a huge, hey, let DMB play covers. They have too much of a catalog to play covers. So not closing on a Watchtower in the main set, not closing the encore with Watchtower. I like that. I think, again, a crowd like Pittsburgh would have loved Watchtower, but I think they also love two-step. So there's reasons why they do this stuff. I don't want it. I don't want it. Let's see if still going to wait on John here. That's why I'm kind of trying to pass this time. Let me read you guys what Alan said, my pal from the Cleveland Metro, who came down from the Cleveland, Ohio area to Pittsburgh. So let me just read you a text that he gave me. It says it's pretty solid energy. Pretty solid energy was high from the band. Wasn't my favorite of the year, but it was a good one and always a good time seeing them from the pit. Stefan did a little bass noodling at the beginning of two-step, seemed to have everyone fooled that either was going to be Watchtower or Crest. Place erupted when two-step started. Well, the crowd should have known if Dave had a standard tuning guitar that it was going to be Watchtower, not Crush. But, not everyone knows that stuff. That's why we're here to educate you. Two-step and Watchtower, the standard tuning. Nowadays, that black Rockbridge SJ model. And here's some video from This is some video from the pit. Alan took this video from the pit. So let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so a little clip there. Thank you, Alan. I'm sending that through. So, SiriusXM. Let's talk SiriusXM because I think overall this band is a rock and roll Hall of Fame band. I believe there could be improvements or additional staffing when it comes to promoting and marketing this band, capturing what goes on behind the scenes to a certain level. You don't have to show everything. This band doesn't have to be full social media like every day you hear from them. But there's not enough showcasing of just various things this band does. You have these quick highlight videos. You don't even need interviews from them, but just to have footage or something more frequently, have graphics. And we see some of this work being done by the other people in this community, whether it's the corner of Gray Street, whether it's the pod that Jane likes, DMB Society. There's just other stuff. Renee Lipsmeyer, she has the Space Between podcast. Other users cover some of this stuff and come up with graphics, and the almanac keeps the data, and the band actually, grab, and the band looks at the almanac at times. But I just wish that this band had better communication, better marketing, better promo, because they are too good of a band to have the confusion that went on today. I was at a point last summer where I just said, listen, pretty much assume they're going to have the Friday night concert series. We're not going to get promotion till the morning of that Friday morning, Friday midday. But I just was like, okay, we're pretty much going to have it. Now, we didn't have one for MSG, right? But we did kind of get a little bit of a heads up on that. That was last year, 2023 Fall Tour. But today was frustrating just because the band still posted stuff about the show. But it was radio silence, literally, pun intended, about SiriusXM. And I don't know if anyone from the band's management or anyone's watching, but it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating to not know if this thing is going to be on SiriusXM. And from the MSG thing last year, and from some other times where maybe they had some technical issues, we have this feeling that, oh no, maybe it's not going to happen. Matter of fact, as DMB fans, we don't have any consistency with live audio streams or video streams. And listen, the band does not have to do these things, but understand we really have like this feeling of like, oh no, if it's going to be streamed, we really want to watch it. But we also have jobs. We also have obligations to family and loved ones. Many of you guys have children. It would be nice to know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have some sort of promotion from this band. And listen, people are maybe upset at SiriusXM. It's on the band. It's really on the band. Even if, regardless of if someone drops the ball or just logistically it can't happen, it doesn't matter who's at fault. The band has a obligation to have representation. That's whoever's running social media, Rodrigo or whoever else, to just say, hey, we're not going to have a stream this week, but you can tune in this weekend to catch DMB X, Y, and Z. But SiriusXM radio has gone up in price. There seems to be less luck with, used to be able to threaten to cancel and they give you a great deal on SiriusXM radio. I've told people, hey, listen, I get it. I've tried to promote SiriusXM radio and I still think the product on this cell phone is the greatest thing ever. The car, not so much. And when I spoke with Ari, he came on this program, we talked about why the phone and the streaming app is so great. And logistically, there's dead spots in satellite coverage. But this phone, when you listen to this on the phone, the quality is great. Or your tablet, or your PC, or your laptop. But I really, there's so much that I could say in general about the lack of communication, the lack of public relations work behind the scenes. But when everyone is like, you pretty much assume, hey, it's not MSG. There's not going to be any sort of crazy charge. We know New York can be different. And there can be other challenges. But it's like, okay, this is a Friday night show. We got them all last year outside of MSG. And we kind of like, is it happening? It could, it couldn't. But now we're at the point, it did not happen tonight. We would like to know as fans, even if it is a no, it's okay if it can't be done. Even if it's a last minute change, there was nothing. We sat there at 7:30. I'm in the middle of a hockey game with my headphones on, listening to Dave Matthews Band Radio, Channel 30. In the middle of a hockey game. And I literally have to wait. I see, oh, Meg went live, right? Shout out to Meg from Cleveland area too, right? She's on the couch. She did couch tour. Some other streamers, shout out to them. Once I saw the band walk on stage there, I hopped back to SiriusXM. I gave it about 3 to 5 minutes and there was nothing. But this communication is absolutely low level, bottom barrel, Tampa Bay Rays fan base. It's the equivalent of the Tampa Bay Rays attendance. That's the PR, not the band. The band should not have to worry about that. There should be people that represent them well enough. And the same management, Grant Capshaw, with Fish, it is 10 times better. With other Grant Capshaw artists, it is you get communication. But for some reason, we do not get anything about one of the most important things that we could expect on a weekly basis during the tour season, which is the Friday night concert series. We know we're not guaranteed video. We love Volta, and we're all rooting for the band to continue to go along this path of exploring more streams. We will pay for these streams. Again, we will pay for these streams. We will pay for these streams. But we understand right now we have SiriusXM radio. We just want to know, are you doing it or you're not? Is there a technical issue or is it not? There was technical issues a couple of times during this tenure, and that's okay too. We wait or we get the replay or we go again on the app. I go the next morning. That afternoon, I go for a run. I pop on the SiriusXM radio app and I press play. And I listen back because even though there were issues with the live feed, they have it all saved here. And I get a nice quality listen through as I go for 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 miles on my Weekend Warrior Saturdays. So please, if anyone from management is listening, please call Aunt Betty and then call me. We'll do a 3-way call, and me and Aunt Betty will explain how these are bare bone basic things that could be changed. So that's my little rant about SiriusXM. And I get it, because I understand why people are canceling. People are canceling SiriusXM radio even before this today. They're like, what am I getting out of this? And that's a whole nother thing about how the channel could grow, or just have more. But I'm all for this stuff. I want to support this stuff. But at this point, if they're not going to put these things on SiriusXM radio, I don't like. I listen to Mad Dog Radio a little bit here and there, some of the other channels, but like the price keeps going up for the bare minimum, low down, basic version of SiriusXM, and a lot of the stuff I can get from podcasts and Apple Music. And so I just think we deserve more as fans from, again, the marketing, the PR. This is stuff. I was a communication major, right, in school. So this is stuff along my line. I do not work at a communication or advertising firm, but this is stuff that I learned about in school. Crisis management and PR was part of the things that I you don't even need that. Anyone can tell that. There's 10-year-old, 8-year-old kids. Shout out to Olivia and Mason out there in Wisconsin. They even know. They be like, hey, how come? Shouldn't we know if it's gonna stream? So hopefully something changed, because the band deserves better. Guys, I'm not even criticizing the band today. I'm saying that this public relations needs to change. So let's say you're leaving this show and you think it's average, or you were disappointed, and there are people like that. That's just how I think. Again, this is. I still think this is, anytime you get Raven, if you're chasing stuff or you want something above and beyond, that's where you go to MSG. I know it's hard to get tickets for some people, but that's where you go to the bigger venue. Even Columbus may have some gems. Columbus does get, Madman's Eyes debuted there. They had some stuff in 2018 that popped out as well. Some rarities there. But when you go to a city like Pittsburgh, don't expect to have all these rarities. You never know. Like last year, the tour was just phenomenal. Even in Greenville, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia, it was phenomenal. And there were limited repeats. There were no repeats through the first 2.5 shows. But you have to, if the set list, the rarity thing is a big thing, you just have to don't go to some of these shows like a Pittsburgh, which gets a lot of summer tours but doesn't get a lot of fall tours. They're playing for this and also coming back. This is their first. And hey, to open up with Granny on your first day out, the band got free like Young Thug, and now they come out and bust out Granny to start off. That's a great start. But if you're chasing those deep cuts, you got to just be selective. And I think most people I know that went to these shows, you say, hey, I'm hoping for the best, but it's the first tour stop. But I think the band gave different demographics of this crowd and the fan base. Each got something to go home with. You get a Raven, Lion Our Graves back to back. That's a high part of any show. Raven, Lion Our Graves, 2-step closer, Granny opener, right? No Jimmy thing, right? So maybe the casuals would want that, but you don't really have a song that's super long that takes up a lot of the show that you're like, oh no, right? Some people may not like You Might Die Trying, but still, it's not as long as the Jimmy thing. See if my boy John Dix is. All right, we may have missed him. I think he's watching the fight. Netflix. I saw this before I logged in. I see some people may have put it in the chat. Hey, what's up, Mike Saha? Great to hear from you. Hope all is well. I think I last saw you, Mike, at SPAC. I want to say. Griffin, the first post was streams not broken, unlike Netflix. Apparently something's happened with Netflix. Can always count on Concert with 34. I've had some struggles too myself here. There were some connection issues, and I appreciate you guys sticking by on that. But I've had some struggles myself. I don't know if we're gonna get John Dixon. What are we at? We're at 40 minutes. But I want these streams to be more about you guys, the fans. These are great moments for to get reaction from people who were there versus, what we think at home. But the tour started. It's gonna, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited for next week. Mohegan ×2. And then I'll be going to MSG Night 3. All right, poster time. Let's go to the poster. Right. All right. So this is the poster. Alejandro Parilla did this. So you have those three rivers meeting. You have the bridges across the rivers, and you have a penguin that's a wind-up toy that has some looks like it's made of metal or steel. So you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you also have the Pittsburgh Penguins, and really the Pittsburgh Penguins are getting the highlight. I'm a sucker for stuff with the city in it. I love city backdrops. We did have one that was from F4D Studios. Was that Max? Was that Max something? Who did that one? That was Burgettstown. That was the last Pittsburgh Metro one that I remember. That was kind of like really popping, or really like kind of above average. And so I love the city and the backdrop. I like the large penguin. Let me know in the comments if the poster sold out. I'm sure it didn't. It's not a gold pour, and it's a fall show. And the fall tour can vary. Listen, we've left some of the recent MSG shows. The poster has not sold out. Some of them have. And I'm just waiting to see if anyone else said anything. Let me just check. IG. Oh, shout out to Jordan Salerno, who reached out to me. He confirmed as well the Dave walking off. Okay, and we got some video from him, so let me see if I can play this here. Oh, video save. Okay, let's play this. Thank you. This is Jordan Salerno. Thank you so much for sending this. We're going to get this straight from the phone to the laptop. Team iPhone, so we can airdrop iPhone and MacBook. All right, so let's see if we can play this. All right, I'm going to turn my mic down.
It was a very important call. I had to get it. I don't know when he was going to call again. So I had to get to it right away. My apologies. But then it was the wrong person anyways. I came on back up. The music was so good I thought I'd delay my return for a little while. It was a call I couldn't miss.
So there he goes. It was a call I couldn't miss. So who knows? Did you think Goose called him? Did Al call him? You could call him Al. Or no, that's a bad joke. Who do you guys think called Dave? Put that in the comments. Who do you think called Dave Matthews, which compelled him to leave the stage? He also has, I don't know if it was a cell phone, but there's some videos I've seen from I've been doing multi-cams for some of the summer shows. It looked like he wears an Apple Watch. I've only been in the pit three times. So like I don't notice things really up close like that. So, Cameron's in the chat. Cameron DMB. Hope all is well, Cameron. He's a young drummer who took part of his drum music recital to play the Last Stop outro. Cameron's going to be at Columbus. Hope you enjoy that with your parents or parent. I don't know if the whole fam's going, Cameron, or just one of your parents. That should be fun, seeing the band out there in Ohio. Speaking of Columbus and in general, this is definitely a buyer's market. This is a buyer's market. MSG will get sales to really where it's like it's hard. It's a seller's market. But even MSG Night 3, there's still, if you really want to work out something, you can. Cam says, Cameron, you gonna send me videos? All right, cool. Appreciate that. And let me just break this down. This is kind of my hierarchy. I explained this to someone on the DMB Connecticut family page. I think that was yesterday. And this is, let me see. Let me find it. So someone said they were noticing a lot of people selling Mohegan tickets. And is there something we should know about it, or just because the show's coming up, it may seem like a lot? Friend is going to the first show and blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is kind of like the cycle of every fall tour. What's up, Mile High Dad? We'll love to hear from you, whether it's via video, a recording, send a recorded video to me, text that to me, or have you on live if you have that availability. And happy belated Veterans Day to Mile High Dad. Thank you for serving our country. Happy belated Veterans Day to all the veterans who have served and protected the United States of America from enemies, foreign and domestic. We appreciate your service. So I said, like, this is kind of what happens. All right. Especially for Mohegan. I've been to every single Mohegan show. Never paid over face value. Not that you should pay over face value. Not that I have, but like, there's just so many options. Okay. So what happens is during the on sale, fans request Warehouse Fan Club tickets in hopes of getting the pit or getting something very close. All right. Not every warehouse ticket is going to be in the pit or somewhere close. After that, handful of fans get warehouse tickets on the floor, but everyone else gets lower level seats in the back or uppers. What happens with that? Oh, we got John Dix coming on. We'll get him on here in just a second. Let me multitask. What happens with that? Well, then the Ticketmaster on sale happens. People panic buy during that as well. I got to get tickets. And I get that for some summer tour shows, but even so, you should not panic for Dave Matthews Band shows like that. And you should be able to hear me now, John. John's still in the back room. Like, he's not on live. You guys won't be able to hear him just yet. I'm setting it up. But so you have panic buying. Then what happens? Time passes on, and people, some people realize they can't make it financially, family, other obligations come up. Kid has a tournament that goes longer than expected, or something happens. They get an invite to some sort of fall team they're going to try out for. And so people start selling the better pit tickets, the lowers. What happens? The people who had uppers from warehouse start buying seats lower and closer. They start selling their tickets in the uppers and mid level. And then you have all these people trying to get rid of tickets that may already have upgraded tickets. You have people who bought 4 tickets, requested 4 tickets for them and their friends. They got uppers and their friends got the better pair and lowers. So now those 4 friends through 2 orders are using the better tickets to sit in, and they're selling the other 4 up in the uppers. Oh, excuse me. And then again, thus you have a lot of chaos, a lot of madness with tickets everywhere available for these shows. Waiting it out is important. Waiting it out is just the thing to do for most venues, especially outside of MSG. Wait it out, find a deal closer. If you find something for face on the on sale that's in the pit, that's in the lower level that you like, by all means buy it. But it's just one of those things where you know, it happens every year. And let's be honest, people buy tickets to shows they know they probably can't make, and they just buy them to try to trade. And that's why you have a lot of tickets for sale. All right, we got John set up. Let's go ahead and get him on. John Dix was at the show tonight. John, tell us about this show. What did you think?
I had a really good time. It was a really good show. I had a lot of fun. A good mix of everything for everyone. Had a good pacing to it. Got a surprise here or there. Got a great 2-step. Got Raven. Got a granny opener. Got a Lover Lay Down. Great Die Trying. So I was overall very pleased with the show.
All right. And we talked about it here, but walk us through the whole process, your experience during Virginia in the Rain, where Dave walks off, comes back on, and then jokes about having to take an important call.
Yeah, so he got so the guitar tech handed him the guitar like normal, and when they go into it, he just takes the guitar off and just walks off stage like in a dash. And so I just assumed he had to go to the bathroom because that was my only explanation. But then when he comes back on, and they played for like 3 minutes or so, like jammed without him. And then he came back on the stage, they handed him the guitar, and then he jumped into the song. And after the song, he was joking like, "Hey, I had to take a very important call, and I've been waiting for this call," or whatever. I think he really just had to go to the bathroom, just keep it a buck.
Gotcha. And that I think that's the most likely other thing that happened was just that it was the bathroom there. And now, what was your favorite song of the set here?
Probably Raven or Lover Lay Down for sure. And then 2-step third.
Okay.
The Lover Lay Down was really sweet. And the Raven was like, I guess the Raven was like, that was for like the hardcore, deep cut fans. But the Warehouse was really, the Warehouse was really top notch. To make sure you listen to the Warehouse on this one. It was really, with the stop time intro, with the woo intro, it was really good.
I'll have to listen back when that tape or audio comes up. I did hear the couch tour, but obviously that's not going to give me the full experience here. What was the mix of, what was the percentage of hardcore versus casual fans here?
Probably 90-10.
So 90 casual, 10 hardcore?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would say probably 90-10, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of casual. But the poster sold out.
It did. Okay. I was going to ask you that
poster
next.
did sell out. And a lot of the merch was sold out too. I was trying to get a friend a t-shirt and they didn't have the size they needed. But so the merch was booming, yeah.
Interesting.
And there was no fall tour print so there's no fall tour print, which is like a first in a while.
Yeah, they've been really spreading out those posters for every season, including that consistent consistency of Fall Tour posters.
There was no Fall Tour print.
Do you know when the poster sold out? Like, did it sell out before the show, during, after?
When I got into the venue around 7:15, it was already gone at the 2 stands I walked by.
Wow. Do you know the run?
Yeah. I have not. I got mine off the warehouse. I never actually even put eyes on the poster.
Okay.
I got mine to the pre-sale.
How was the crowd as far as sitting down, energy wise?
I was center row E, behind the pit, and it was pretty. Everybody was standing, having a good time. Security was having an issue with like people trying to come up to the rail and stuff like that. Just the typical, nonsense. But everybody was having a good time. People were standing even during the slow songs like Virginia in the Rain and Lover Lay Down. Bayou got a huge pop for you. People went crazy for Bayou. Space Between got a huge pop. Graves got a big pop. But yeah, I was really but the Graves was really good. But yeah, that Bayou got a huge pop, man. People love that song a lot. And The Only Thing got a big pop too.
I love the breakdown of The Only Thing.
There's nothing for me.
But Bayou, I mean, hey, listen, I get it. I get it. It gets people dancing. It gets people moving. It's provocative. It gets the people going.
You know what kills me about Bayou is like even tonight, right? They overplay that song so much, and Dave still can't get the lyrics right. Like he effed it up tonight. I'm like, dude, if you're not gonna sing it right, just stop singing it. We're not gonna be mad at you.
Listen, I've always advocated I would repeal and replace Louisiana Bayou with just a Louisiana Bayou outro. 3-4 minutes, transition in between 2 different songs, and do that. That's change you can believe in. All right. If I was running for DMB Setlist president, that'd be one of my policies.
I would love to trade Bayou on just Setlist. I would take like a deeper cut off the stand-up album, like maybe Everybody Wake Up or something like that. I would take that at this point over Bayou. I think Bayou's just, I mean, it's had a great run, and it really has taken much time off. I think, some of these songs like that, I wouldn't mind taking a tour or 2 off for it.
Yeah. And
but the people love it.
Yeah, we saw that with Jimmy thing. It got sat down. It was on a leave of absence, and in its absence, we got so many great things. How was the sound overall in this venue?
So the mix was really bass heavy. So the mix was really bass heavy. You couldn't really hear Carter, but Dave's guitar really pierced through. I had a tough time hearing the horn section. So I was like dead center, right, staring right at Dave. But the mix was very bass heavy though, for sure.
Okay. I mean, I've always said I want more Stefan. So maybe they've been watching the post show streams and my tweets. And
just the sound inside is a lot different than the amphitheater anyway, just because the way the sound travels in the building.
Yeah.
To me, DMB sounds totally different indoors than they do outdoors.
They do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it can bounce off the walls. You have no wind. And you have speaker stacks that just, people are listening from different angles. Mm-hmm. No Diddy. I don't know. I just want to say that. let me stop. But like, it's just a different experience. And so the sound is going to be different, and they have to adjust it to the room. And, a year like 2018, I thought that first Buddy year, the arenas sounded better. Mohegan in 2018 sounded better than the summer shows I saw, including it rivaled SPAC of 2018. SPAC Night 2 2018. The sound at that Mohegan show was great, but then other times the summer shows sound, obviously that's the more natural acoustics and treatments to the actual venue allow the sound to travel better. So it's always interesting. Any other final thoughts?
Overall, great show. Band really brought it for a tour debut. They gave us, they busted a song out like Raven that, nobody was really expecting, I'm sure. And they gave that to the hardcore fans. They brought back a bunch of classics like Graves, We got Granny, a Lover Lay Down, Two-Step Closer. So it's always a play. I was kind of expecting the end of the Watchtower. So I was really pleased that, they gave us a two-step. And then I think it's just going to be a strong run all the way to MSG. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night to see what they're going to do tomorrow night and then carry that into MSG next week.
Yeah, and will they pull a 2023 Fall Tour and give us in a different venue a whole different set list, no repeats from the first night? Will they try to work some stuff in? Maybe they want to go back to how they normally do it. We'll find out on the next episode of the 2024 DMB Tour. Thank you, John, for coming on, and have a wonderful night. Take care.
I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right. Peace. All right. So that was John. Thank him for coming on. He had to just get set. I think he was watching that fight. Who won the fight? Let me see if we can. Let me see if we. I think he was watching. Let's see. Let me see if I can see if Jake Paul. Who won? Does anyone know if I'll find out after, but Jake Paul won 6-2. Okay. Yeah, all right. So that's why John must have came on after that. All right. So yeah, stay tuned. More post-show streams, and again, if you are watching this for the first time, if you are not familiar with this channel, I also do a lot when it comes to putting together some of these shows. And so let me just pull up some things. I'll put some of these in the video description. But if you are looking, if you're new to this band, if you're new to checking things out online, there's some things that you can check out here. Let me go ahead and get back to this. So under ConcertViz 34, I'm live right now. Check out the playlist. I got my 2024 multicams. Guilford is highlights are there. Mansfield highlights. These are just straight off, hot off the press after the show. But I do have multicams in the works for Guilford, and then I will spin the block and go back to Mansfield. I skipped it because I just didn't have enough video, but I'll try to get that after. I wanted to get these Guilford shows out. Dave and Tim in Mexico as well, right over here, if you guys see that. And then that's just the playlist. Some of the more recent videos I've had. Today I released the Sugar Will video from Guilford Night 1. That was the first play since 2021 that was played this summer. There's also the full show video as well. Let me zoom in a little more so you guys can see that full show video of SPAC Night 2. There's a two-step right there from the Gorge I was talking about earlier. Also, that's just an unfreeze thing with Tim Palmieri, but also SPAC Night 1. A number 41 multicam I put together as well, but check that out. YouTube, ConcertViz 34, if you're watching this for the first time. While this is not a live stream of the show, I have shows in 4K, multi-views of the actual show from fans submitting clips there. And taper audio. So you're getting audio not from a cell phone. You're getting audio from a taper who's using lossless audio. And so you can hear better quality audio from those tapers who do a great job. All right, that's it, man. We're going to move on to the next show tomorrow. I will have more prep time. I'll have more ready for you guys, and we probably won't go this long. I want to try to condense this and get in, get out, 30, 45 minutes. But I want to hear from you guys. Send your videos, ConcertViz 34, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, Hit me up on those platforms. Concert Vids 34. You'll see that Yukon Husky 34 for Ray Allen there. And those are all on all my socials. You'll see that picture. And yeah, just hit me up there. All right, we're going to get out of here and close out the stream with our outro. We're going to walk around the moon to close out. Thank you, guys. It's great to be back. And just like the band, I'm easing into these post-show streams. Peace.
I found a stranger walking in the woods. She was not quite like anyone I knew. Red dress, polka dots, shadows in her hair. She said, you take me, and I take you there. Now she's going round and round inside of my head. I think I'm just a little too close to the edge. You took everything from me, and now I'm falling into this never-ending sea. I know you got your best to give to me. You know you hold me up. I know it seems that I have crossed into a dream since I've been flying so fly. Big style.